Welcome back. Today I'm here with Elaine Bennett. Elaine is an award-winning speechwriter, speech coach, and consultant. She had a baptism of fire as a speechwriter less than 2 years after she signed on to write for the CEO of Salomon Brothers. A scandal forced the executive to resign, and in stepped who else but Warren Buffett. Since working with Mr. Buffett, Elaine has continued putting words in the mouths of CEOs of Fortune 500 companies and leading nonprofits. She unearths the stories behind business data and helps executives shape those stories into memorable messages. Elaine, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Marie.
Hi.
Today you gave me a great introduction as my business speechwriter self, but today I want to talk about the work that I do with people. Helping them to learn to write better for themselves. And look at my quarantine nail manicure. This is clearly not someone who expects to be out in the world. So I talk with my hands. I just wanted to be upfront. Don't judge me by my manicure, because who cares, right?
Nobody's judging you.
Writing is so important for us right now, especially as we're stuck inside. And as you said before we just started recording, people are starting to go stir crazy.
Yep.
Writing is an excellent way of processing your emotions. And, you don't have to believe me. You can Google it and you will find that a Harvard professor did some research maybe 10 years ago. And he had a bunch of students write 15 minutes a day for a period of time. And 6 months later, 6 months after they stopped writing every day, the people who had been asked to write about their feelings and sort of process their feelings in writing had fewer visits to the infirmary, fewer, they were just in much better shape than the people who just wrote about anything.
Mm-hmm.
I find, and maybe some of you out there are like, this is awesome. I get to be home all day and I don't have to see people or do my manicure. But even if you are an introvert, I'm sort of an introvert, this period of time can weigh on us because the whole world is sort of upside down. And certainly what we're going through here in the United States is very unusual. And the atmosphere is all around us. So even if you're used to being by yourself and you're used to working by yourself, it can feel really, really different. And so even if you just take 15 minutes and write about your feelings, and you don't have to make it a blog or, try and get it published in the New York Times or anything. It can just be something that sits on your computer in a file that, maybe you'll look at in 10 years and go, oh, wow, yeah, that quarantine stuff
Mm-hmm.
was rough. But if you take 15 minutes for yourself and write out your feelings, it'll be much easier for you to process them.
I love that. And I one of the things that you said that really stands out to me is that it can actually benefit your health.
Yeah.
That there have been studies done, and people who write about their feelings, they go to the doctor less. They're actually just better off. And, what I love about that is that, as a fellow creative person, and as somebody who likes to write and what I find is that a lot of people feel guilty for being creative, right? They feel guilty because I'm here writing and the world is ending, or, I hear a lot of that. And
Mm-hmm.
What I love about what you just said is that, no, it's actually really important that you do that.
Yeah, it's super important. And it's not, if you write like a funny poem,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean that you're dishonoring what's going on in the world, right? You don't have to always, writing can get you out of the doom and gloom and the heavy stuff that we read about on the news or in Twitter or wherever you get your news from.
Mm-hmm.
You can take 10 minutes and be happy and make
Mm-hmm.
yourself laugh. And it's okay. It's very helpful. It's like, putting on the airplane where you put the mask over your own mouth
Right.
before you help your kids. You've got to stay as centered as you can. You've got to stay as human as you can, and this writing will help you do that.
I love that. I love that. So, what advice do you have for someone who is a busy entrepreneur or a busy, a busy, motivated person who maybe doesn't have the instinct to be writing every day? What's your advice to somebody just getting started?
Well, usually I say do it first thing in the morning. Just do it, and do it. My coach, Sam Bennett, who is not related to me, but she always says, do it before you check your email. And that's, I think, anything that you can do before you check your email is, chances are it's going to get done, because once you check your email, you're off and running on your day.
Yeah. But
find a dedicated part of your day that you can do it, and keep track of it. I'm a writing streak person. I write for 15 minutes every day, whether I want to or not. And my only, sometimes it's just journaling. Sometimes it's, something creative that I'm doing for my business. Sometimes it's something creative that I'm doing for myself. But I write for 15 minutes every day. My longest streak was 953 days.
Wow.
And after I fell asleep on day 954, but I got up the very next day and I started a new streak. So I'm up to something like 480 right now.
Wow. Wow. So that's almost 3 years that you didn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to decide what happens if I get sick, if I break the writing streak and just say it wasn't my fault, or if I did have elective surgery at one point during the 953, and I got up at 3:00 in the morning before I had to leave for the hospital, and I did my 15 minutes. And
wow, wow.
And the next day I was feeling better enough that I could do my 15 minutes. So
that's amazing.
So that's, and I find, certainly when my streaks were in their lower numbers, I was really highly motivated to get the numbers higher. Sure. And that's just sort of my competitive nature. So if you can make it a game for yourself, it's sometimes it's not so easy to do things that we know are good for us. She says, looking at her stationary bicycle sitting right across from her.
What's the saying? It's people buy pain pills, not vitamins. That's
So if you can find a way to make it a game, gamify it for yourself, that'll help. If you have kids and they're home from being homeschooled or whatever, make it a game for them too. Give them a little creative writing, 15 minutes, or drawing if they're not verbal yet, and see if you can do it as a family.
I love that. I love that. So what about for the days that you just get up and you just don't feel like writing? I mean, I know we all have those, right? And you gave 3 really good examples of things that you could do that count, right? Like journaling or writing for your business or writing for yourself.
Yep.
What advice do you have to someone who gets up at whatever time and does it, sits down at their desk and is just like, I just don't feel like doing this today?
Nothing happens. So the thing that everybody needs to know about me is that I do not believe in writer's block. I don't believe it exists. I think it's a pathologizing way of thinking about I actually have something else that I use instead of writer's block, and you might want to write this down. It's a good tip. Instead of calling it writer's block, I call it thinking. Because, so you're thinking, but if you're doing 15 minutes of writing and you want to make the best out of it, you want to do the writing, you can just write, I have nothing to write today. I have no idea what to write today. And just write that until you get sick of writing it and an idea will come through.
I love that.
I have no idea what to write today. I am really mad at that Elaine Bennett for saying that I had to write. I am so mad at her and her stupid pink hair and her undone nails. Oh my goodness. What a jerk. But actually I have a program going right now. It's a free program it's called 15 Minutes of Freedom, and I will send you 2 writing prompts a week. So you can do with them what you want. You write on them for 15 minutes a day until you get the next one, or don't use it, or, you know, but if you have some time aside from your 15 minutes, when you think of something that you want to write it down. And then when you do sit down to do your writing, you'll have a list of things the ideas that you've had previously, and maybe pick one off of that list.
That's great. I love that. I forget who it was now. I learned this concept from Dory Clark, who we both know, and we met each other through, but this was not her idea. It was someone else's, but there's somebody who writes 10 ideas a day.
Yes.
In the morning.
James Altucher.
Of
I
course.
think he does 100 ideas a day or something.
Yeah. And the reason behind it is because an idea is a muscle, right? Your creativity is a muscle. And so even if there are 10 bad ideas,
right,
you know, it's a skill that you do. And so I think it seems to me that you approach writing much in the same way, that it's a skill. It's just something that you have to give the time for, otherwise it doesn't get done.
Exactly. Usually I tell people to write for 15 minutes a day because they will get better over time. But right now it's more important to just, you should never worry about whether what you write is good or not. Nobody writes well all the time.
Right.
And, you know, Hemingway famously said, everybody's first drafts are shitty. So if he could say that, and he was Hemingway, I think that Elaine Bennett can know that I'm not going to write well all the time.
Right.
So you have to let go of that and just write whatever comes out. And, you know, if you're working towards a goal, if you're writing marketing copy, or you're writing a poem or an article for yourself, you'll revisit it and revise it. But the idea of the 15 minutes a day is just get it done.
Nice. I love that. I love it. What about the days that it's going really well and you get to the 15 minutes? Do you keep going, or is this?
Write longer.
Yeah.
Sure. If you're in the flow, keep going as long as you can. I mean, I had to push back my call with you today because I was in the flow, and
yes.
It was 2 minutes to the time I was supposed to talk to you. So sometimes you'd be able to reschedule things, and sometimes you're not. But you know, yeah, if you've got it going, keep going as long as you can.
That's awesome. So where do people get the 2 writing prompts a week?
Well, that is an excellent question. And wouldn't it have been really clever of me to let you know? Let me see. Can I put it in the chat? No, that's not going to work, is it?
It's not going to show up, but that's okay. If you, you can say it and I'll put it in.
It is Bennett Inc. INK.com. Sorry, that's my website. Where you go for the writing prompt is bennettinc.lpages.co/15-minutes-of-freedom. So bennettinc.lpages.co/15-minutes-of-freedom.
Awesome. So 15 minutes of freedom. That's here. I love that.
That's the thing. Because when you're stuck in the house, you can't get out, but your brain's not stuck. Your body might be stuck. Your nose might be stuck, your lungs, but you know, your brain can take you wherever you want to go. And so the writing prompts I have tried to make them fun and they're not businessy necessarily. I mean, you can write about whatever you want, but what I wanted to do is give people a little way to have some fun.
Awesome. I love that. And we are coming up with something. We're going to be releasing something soon. And of course, you know, we've sort of had a bunch of different things that we've done together.
Yep.
And one of those things is that we're crafting an offering for TEDx and you know, basically get your TED Talk and get it written, you know, and have a speechwriter to write it with. But do you want to tell people about our immediate offering coming up?
Well, for our immediate offering, we're taking it down a couple notches because this is a great time for people to, you know, be creative. And so maybe you've had it on your bucket list to write a TED Talk for a long time, or maybe you just, you know, have a couple glasses of wine and think, hey, this could be a TED Talk. And so we thought we would do something that was, you know, both serious, you know, seriously good information, but also fun. And so we're going to be launching the TEDx Happy Hour program. It's just 3 weeks of how to start thinking about your idea. Well, 2 weeks of how to start thinking about your idea, and then 1 week of coming together, or maybe more than 1 week, but every week, several people will have the opportunity to deliver their idea for the TED Talk to the group and get the thunderous applause that you deserve, and just yes. You know, have some fun.
I love it. I'm really excited for this. And part of the reason that I'm excited about it is because, first of all, it's a low pressure environment for you to try your ideas. And it's the same thing as, like, you know, what you said about Hemingway saying the first draft is shit, right? Like, you know, so now you have that. You have something that you can do. You can get out your first draft. And also, I mean, we both have performance backgrounds. So this is a little bit more of an improv setting.
Yes.
Which I think is awesome. And so it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be putting information for that as well. But if you want to join the writing prompts, it's again, bennettinc.lpages.co/15-minutes-of-freedom. And I recommend it. I recommend sitting down and writing for 15 minutes. That's amazing. And you know, it's a good reminder for me, like, oh yeah, right, I haven't written in a couple of days. So, oops, sorry.
You know, it's okay. You know, it's sometimes, some days I get to the end of the day, and if it's an especially heavy day of writing for my clients, writing for more is the last thing I want to do, which is why it's a good idea to do it in the beginning of the day. But also, you know, if it's one of those days, I'll just write something silly, or I'll journal, or, you know, grab a crayon if you have one in your house and write with a crayon. It's you're not going to be pompous if you write with a crayon. I guess. Right.
Do you have crayons in your house?
I have colored pencils. I don't think I have crayons. I have chalk, and I have colored pencils.
Nice. So. That's awesome. That's awesome. Practicing what you preach. Awesome. Cool. So how can people get in touch with you?
Well, I am at Bennett Inc., I-N-K, like ink from a pen.com, 2 N's, 2 T's, Bennett Inc. And happy to connect with anybody who wants to chat about what they're thinking about in terms of writing, and, you know, whether or not I can help you in some way. That's fine. I mean, I think this period of time that we're all stuck is a great time to try different things, try things that you might have been scared to do before. I mean, you know, when you look at coronavirus and writing, which one is scarier? Right?
Well, it depends on who you ask. I mean, you know.
That's true, but, you know.
Yeah, no, but you're right. It's the better alternative is to like actually try the thing that you probably wanted to try.
Yeah.
As opposed to, be thinking about this really scary pandemic that we're in right now.
Yeah.
So I like that. That's a good point. Awesome. So any parting thoughts for our audience here? Anything that they can go and write about right now?
Right now. Okay. Turn to your left, which is my right. Turn to your left and pick out something that you see. I see a quilt on my sofa.
Okay.
And write about that.
I love that. That's super simple.
It might be, maybe you describe it accurately. Maybe you just look at the colors or how what it looks like, its shape, the way it's lying there, and just write about that. Writing prompts are all around us. And actually, that's one of the things that I'll be talking about during our TEDx Happy Hour. So,
I love it. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
absolutely. Thanks for having me, and everybody stay well.